Hi everyone, I'm Maddie Quinlan, a behavioral scientist with marketing for ECPs. As we all know, patients may intend to seek eye care for their visual needs, but many times there's a gap between their intention and actually taking action to schedule appointments or follow through with treatment plans. But did you know that this gap can be influenced by marketing strategies and messaging? That's where behavioral science comes in. By understanding the psychological and emotional factors that drive patient behavior, we can help eye care professionals develop marketing strategies that not only educate, but also motivate and encourage patients to take action. Let's talk about social proof. Social proof is a powerful technique that involves using the perceived popularity or approval of others to influence behavior. We like to feel a sense of belonging and look to others to validate how normal our actions are. This can be done in a variety of ways, such as highlighting customer reviews on your website or displaying certifications that vouch for the credibility of your services. These techniques are used to suggest that other people also like and use your services, and can be especially effective in the context of online bookings where physical social cues are not present. Additionally, there are tools and plugins that businesses can use to help perpetuate social proof, such as personalized websites that show specific information to individual visitors. By prominently displaying testimonials and reviews on your website, you can help to increase trust and credibility among potential patients and make them more likely to book an appointment with you. In the research world, a study published in the Journal of Marketing found that restaurants that displayed customer reviews on their website saw a significant increase in reservations compared to those that did not. In conclusion, social proof is a powerful marketing technique that can be effectively integrated into your marketing strategy to increase trust and credibility among potential patients. So, make sure to highlight customer reviews and testimonials prominently on your website and other marketing materials to showcase the popularity and approval of your services. Scarcity is a powerful behavioral insight that finds that when an object or resource is less available, we perceive it as more valuable. It's a technique that can be used to create a sense of urgency by emphasizing a limited availability of a product or service. This can be done by highlighting a limited time offer, a limited number of spots available for a service, or a limited stock of a product. This creates a feeling of urgency and can lead to an increase in the uptake of a particular service offering. By using scarcity in your marketing, you can encourage potential patients to act quickly to schedule an appointment or take advantage of a limited time deal, such as a discount on eye exams or a limited number of appointments available. Research demonstrates the effectiveness of scarcity in driving action. A study published in the Journal of Marketing Research found that when a limited time offer was presented alongside a regular offer, people were more likely to choose the limited time offer, even if it was less appealing in terms of price or value. So, scarcity is a powerful technique that can be effectively integrated into your marketing strategy to create that sense of urgency and encourage potential patients to take action. Make sure to highlight limited time offers and limited availability in your appointments to make marketing materials drive more bookings. Storytelling is a powerful technique that has influenced both individual and group behavior for most of human history. Generating and sharing compelling stories can drive healthy behavior, and crafting these for your practice can showcase the benefits of your eye care services and how they've positively impacted the lives of your patients. This helps to create a personal connection and make your services more relatable to potential patients. One example of how you can use storytelling in your marketing strategy is by sharing patient testimonials that highlight the transformative power of your services. By sharing real-life examples of how your services have positively impacted the lives of your patients, you can help potential patients to see how your services will benefit them as well. Research has also demonstrated the effectiveness of storytelling in engaging and persuading people by sharing a personal narrative surrounding the brand of your practice. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that people who were exposed to a brand story were more likely to have positive attitudes towards that brand and were more likely to make a purchase. So by using personal, relatable, positive storytelling as part of your marketing strategy, you can create that personal connection, build trust, and make your services more potentially attractive to patients. So make sure to include those patient testimonials and showcase the positive experiences of your practice. Have you ever heard the phrase, "the messenger is the message"? The messenger effect is a psychological phenomenon that refers to the idea that the credibility, relatability, and trustworthiness of the messenger can influence the effectiveness of the message. Research has demonstrated the effectiveness of the messenger effect in encouraging trust and action. So how can you use this insight? This can work in a couple of ways. One way is to position yourself or your team as the experts you are, and by highlighting any certifications or accolades that you or your team have received. For example, you could use language such as, "Our team of eye care professionals are all certified para-optometric technicians." Another approach is to use testimonials from satisfied patients, highlighting real patients who have had positive experiences at your office. This increases credibility and trustworthiness of your message and makes it more relatable to potential patients. The messenger effect is closely related to social proof, and marketing efforts should highlight the number of patients who have chosen your office for treatment, or by featuring testimonials from well-known or influential people. Additionally, endorsements from trusted sources, such as professional organizations or other healthcare providers, can increase the credibility and trustworthiness of your message. The contrast principle is a psychological phenomenon that involves highlighting the benefits and features of your services by comparing them to less desirable alternatives. This can help to emphasize the value and quality of your services, making them more appealing to patients. Research demonstrates the effectiveness of the contrast principle in increasing both appreciation and purchase intent. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that people were more likely to appreciate the benefits and features of a product when they were compared to less desirable alternatives. The study found that people were more likely to make a purchase when a product was presented alongside a lower quality alternative, as it helped to highlight the superiority of the product. One example of how you can use the contrast principle in your marketing strategy is by emphasizing any advanced technology or techniques used in your office and how they compare to less desirable alternatives. For instance, you could say something like, "When it comes to your eye health, don't settle for less. Our office uses state-of-the-art technology and advanced techniques to provide the highest level of care possible. Don't risk your vision. Book an appointment with us today." Using contrasting can really increase your appeal to potential patients. Make sure to highlight the benefits and features of your services by comparing them to less desirable alternatives. Have you ever heard that mere exposure to someone or something makes us like it more? This is behavioral science at work. Familiarity bias is a psychological phenomenon that refers to the idea that familiarity can increase trust and comfort in a brand or service. This means that the mere exposure of people to you and your brand will increase the likelihood they are to trust you. Research has demonstrated the effectiveness of familiarity bias in increasing trust and sales. A study published in the Journal of Marketing found that people were more likely to make a purchase from a brand that they were familiar with, as opposed to a brand that was new to them. So getting your eyes on products and services is critical. One way to increase familiarity and trust with potential patients is through repetition in your marketing efforts. Some of the most memorable brands have slogans or songs that immediately come to mind, simply because the degree of exposure we have to them. By making your brand more recognizable and familiar to potential patients, you can increase the likelihood of them considering your services. One example of how you can use familiarity in your marketing strategy is by highlighting the longevity of your business in the community. For example, something like, "You may have seen our commercials or ads in your community. We are the eye care office that has been serving your city for over X number of years. With a reputation for excellence and a long list of satisfied patients, you can trust us to provide the right care for all your needs. Schedule an appointment with us today." Building a brand and making it familiar is an effective way to gain and retain patients in the long term. By making your brand more recognizable and familiar through repetition in your marketing efforts, you can increase the likelihood of potential patients considering your services. One of the foundational principles of behavioral science explains how we perceive losses in comparison to gains. Research consistently shows that people are motivated to avoid losses more so than they are to acquire gains. In the context of marketing an eye care office, one way to leverage this concept might be to focus on the potential consequences of not getting eye care rather than the benefits of receiving it. In other words, presenting in terms of what patients could stand to lose by not utilizing your services. One example of how you can use loss aversion in your marketing strategy is by highlighting the risks of vision loss, eye disease, and other eye problems that can arise from neglecting eye care. Or, since many patients will be using benefits to cover their services, you can remind them at critical times that if they fail to use up their benefits, they will be lost once the year rolls over. It's important to keep in mind, however, that while loss aversion can be an effective tool in marketing, it's important to use it ethically and transparently. Overuse or manipulation of loss aversion techniques can backfire, damaging your credibility and turning off potential patients. In conclusion, loss aversion is a powerful psychological principle that can be effectively integrated into your marketing strategies to increase motivation among your patients. By being mindful when crafting messages and testing them to understand their impact, the power of loss aversion can incite quick action of your patients to take up your services. Incentives are used across the public and private sectors to influence behavior and are central to behavioral science. Well-designed incentives can instigate health behaviors, especially when coupled with other behavioral techniques. One way to use incentives in your marketing strategy is by offering them for people who keep their appointments. For example, you could offer discounts on treatment or special offers for patients who show up for their scheduled appointments. This can help to motivate people to follow through on their commitments and to keep their appointments. Another approach is to use the regret lottery. This is when a patient is automatically entered into a lottery to win a prize, but only if they show up for their scheduled appointment. This creates a sense of urgency and the desire to avoid the regret of winning a prize but not being able to collect it. Another approach is the use of reciprocity or unconditional rewards. This is when a patient is given a small gift, such as a coupon or a discount for eye care, as a thank you in advance for scheduling an appointment. This creates a sense of obligation to reciprocate the gift and follow through with the appointment. Another approach is the use of a conditional reward. This is when a patient is offered a tangible reward such as a credit or a gift card for scheduling an appointment. This creates a sense of immediacy and can be effective in its way to motivate people to schedule an appointment. Another approach is the use of incompletion bias. This is when a patient is told their profile is incomplete and can only be completed by scheduling an appointment. This creates a sense of internal motivation to resolve incomplete tasks and can be an effective way to motivate people to schedule an appointment. In conclusion, incentives can be an effective tool in marketing for eye care professionals. By offering incentives for keeping appointments and using techniques such as regret lotteries, reciprocity, and conditional and unconditional rewards, we can increase patient engagement and follow through. With competing demands and limited attention, too many choices can overwhelm us, resulting in what we call the paradox of choice, or the paralysis we experience when considering too many options. To combat this bias in your practice, the first tip is to offer a limited number of options so you can reduce decision-making anxiety and make it easier for people to choose between your services or products. Secondly, ensure that information you provide is clear and concise. People should feel confident in their decision, and make sure you clearly communicate the benefits and features of each option and highlight any special promotions or discounts. If possible, use personalized recommendations. By understanding your patient's needs and their preferences, you could offer recommendations that are specific to their circumstances, and this helps to narrow down the options and make it easier for them to choose. A free online or in-person consultation is a great way to introduce this. Finally, consider creating a decision-making tool. Whether it's a quiz or an assessment, this tool can help people narrow down their options based on their specific needs and preferences, and it can make it easier for them to make a decision and feel more confident in their choice. We all know that first impressions are important, but what about last impressions? And when should we most focus on making an impact for our patient experience? The peak end rule can help here. Peak end is a cognitive bias that impacts how we remember events. The theory goes that individuals have the most critical recall of events at the peak moment and the feeling they have at the end of an interaction. So how can we use this insight to keep our patients fondly remembering their experiences with us and coming back again? The first step is to focus on creating positive and memorable experiences for your patients. This might involve providing excellent customer service, making the office environment welcoming and comfortable, and ensuring that the treatment process is as smooth and painless as possible. Focus on creating a positive ending to the experience as well. Thank your patients for their business and offer follow-up care or support if needed. Whether this is a handwritten note card with a reminder, a parking voucher, or a small gift on their way out the door, this can leave a lasting impression and encourage them to return. Another tip is to highlight the positive aspects of the treatment experience in your marketing materials. Use testimonials from satisfied patients or before and after images to showcase the positive results of treatment. This can help to create positive associations with your practice and encourage more people to visit your office. It can also prime patients to look for those positive peak experiences during their visit. Finally, keep track. Create notes in the customer files about their experience. Personalize the experience, and remembering the details can help create a peak and end effect that is specific to each patient. Remembering patient names, their children's names, or events in their life can be the cherry on top and the most favorably memorable part of a patient visit. By using these tips, you can take complete control of the patient experience and create positive, memorable experiences for them. Makes the peaks more delightful and the ends more satisfying. Another of the foundational principles of behavioral science comes from Richard Thaler. If you want someone to do something, make it easy. Behavioral scientists are consistently trying to eliminate friction and take down hurdles to the behaviors we want to encourage, and you can do this too. Offer online booking. By offering online booking, you can make it easy for patients to schedule appointments from the convenience of their own devices. This can be especially helpful for busy patients who may prefer to avoid phone calls. Simplify your booking process. Make the booking process as simple and straightforward as possible. For example, provide clear instructions on how to book an appointment, allow patients to choose their desired appointment time and date, and provide confirmation of the appointment once it's booked. The less clicks to get to the information a patient needs, the better. Multiple booking options can help patients to schedule appointments, such as by phone, email, or through a booking website. This can make it easier for patients to choose the option that best fits their needs and preferences. Send reminders and follow-ups. Consider this to help message patients remembering their appointments and encourage them to keep their appointments. For example, send text or email reminders a few days before the appointment and follow up with a phone call or a message if the appointment is missed. Salience refers to the prominence or attention-grabbing quality of something and can be a powerful tool in behavioral science to influence people's decisions and actions. In the context of marketing for an eye care professional, salience can be used in a number of ways to increase awareness and engagement with your practice. One way to use salience in marketing might be to make the practice's services and offerings more visible to potential customers. This might involve using eye-catching graphics or branding, prominently displaying information about services and pricing, or using advertising to draw attention to your practice. Another way to use salience might be to highlight the unique or standout features of your practice, such as commitment to a cutting-edge technology or a focus on patient comfort. This can help to differentiate your practice from competitors and make it more memorable to potential customers. It is also important to consider the color and imagery used in marketing materials. Color is a language in and of itself when designers and marketers communicate with prospective or current patients. Understanding this can help elevate your brand and increase the conversion of patients. This is in part because certain colors evoke particular emotions. Using colors that align with the emotions you want to convey and using visually engaging imagery can make your marketing more effective. There are no hard and fast rules, but generally, warm hues are those found in the red region of the color wheel. In design, the colors red, orange, and yellow can evoke feelings of warmth and fervor. Warm colors radiate a significant amount of energy and have long wavelengths, and those hues perform best when utilized as accent colors. Choosing warm hues for your design's primary color might quickly make it grating and potentially bothersome. Blue is more prevalent in cool hues. Green, blue, and purple are cool, and these hues have a naturally relaxing impact and are frequently used in interior design, especially to promote rest. However, when applied excessively, it could create melancholy emotions. So by incorporating salience and imagery into your marketing strategy, you can increase visibility and make your brand stand out. The science in behavioral science is the use of a strong methodology and psychological insights to test whether our efforts have a direct causal impact on our goals. It's based on the experimental method, which is a research design in which researchers manipulate one or more variables, the independent variable, to measure the impact on another variable, the dependent variable. This allows us to determine cause and effect relationships, and we can isolate and control for other potential influences on the dependent variable. In behavioral science marketing, the experimental method can be used to test the effectiveness of different marketing techniques or strategies in influencing people's decisions and actions. By randomly assigning participants to different treatment groups and carefully controlling for other factors, researchers can determine the causal impact of a given marketing tactic on the dependent variable of interest, such as purchase intention or brand awareness. The experimental method is considered a strong research design because it allows for the determination of cause and effect relationships, which is important in marketing research where the goal is often to identify the most effective strategies. It's important to carefully design and execute experiments in order to minimize potential biases and ensure that the validity and reliability of the result is there. It allows us to know what works and most effectively iterate on our findings.